Hi everyone, welcome back to the third video in this series for medium brown skin tones. Excuse the fact that this video is going up a couple days late. Currently in my third trimester of pregnancy, so it's been a little bit crazy at home trying to prepare and juggling my toddler. So just want to give you guys a little bit of a heads up if things are all over the place in the next little bit. This is why, and we're gonna be a little bit swamped over here. So excuse my weird eyebrow situation going on here. This is life with a toddler. They touch your face. So without more delays, today we're gonna be talking about my top favorite blushes for medium brown skin tones. But before we begin, if you could subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, that would greatly support my channel. So this is in no particular order, and I'm gonna be swatching the blushes one on each side of my face, and I'm going to try and pair the blushes so the tones are similar when I'm swatching them on my face. So even though you're going to have two blushes that you're going to see on my face, they're going to be about the same tones. So the first blush that I've been obsessed with over the last couple of years are the e.l.f. putty blushes. I've dabbled here and there with cream and liquid blushes, but this was probably the first time that I really got attached to a cream blush. I think it definitely was the allure of how affordable these blushes were. Also the tones and the texture of them. I like that they're not a huge pan, so you can buy several shades and still use them up relatively quickly. And it's not like I use them every single day, but I can still easily make a dent in them. Now, before I show you the shades and swatches, there is a slight learning curve with them. The texture is creamy, but it does set down a little bit. It truly is like a putty texture. It's not super emollient. So I found the best way to get a seamless application with this is to use like a slightly dense brush and just stipple it on the face, and I will show you that going into the demo. So the first shade that I'm using here is Turks and Caicos, and I'm going in with a medium dense brush to just tap it onto the cheeks, and it blends itself out. It's such a lovely neutral peach tone. The next shade is Bora Bora. It is that classic bright pink. I love how sheer it goes on, but you can easily build it up, and it gives you such a flirty, romantic look. The next shade is Maldives. This one is hands down my favorite out of all three. It's also the most unique shade that I have in my collection. It is like that true blood red that gives you the effect of naturally being flush from blood rushing to your skin. The second blush is one that I've had in my collection for literally years and years and years, and this has also been around for a really long time. It is the Wet n Wild Color Icon blush in the shade Pearlescent Pink. Now, Wet n Wild has repackaged this blush many times, and I would say this blush shade has been around up to like 3 package designs ago, if that makes sense. It is this beautiful pink, almost slightly peachy shade with shimmer reflex in them. It sort of reminds me of the NARS Orgasm, but it's not as punchy. But upon application, it is so soft and beautiful and flattering, and it's not an overwhelming glow, but it does give you a beautiful sheen on the skin. It's not a scary pink. It's got a little bit of warmth to it. And with this formula, I really love wearing this on a day that I don't want to wear highlighter, and it still gives me that beautiful glow and still a really lovely pinky flush. The next blush is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush in the shade Always Cheeky. I've also loved this so much over the last couple of years. This is actually a really good formula, not just for the drugstore, but just in general as a blush. It's not highly pigmented, so it's really easy to build up, and it goes on so smooth, like it feels like it's really finely milled. And whenever I put this blush on, it gives me this airbrush look. This is also one of the first sort of peachier blushes that I've owned, and I love how soft and subtle it is, and it's nice to have a change up from having like mauvey or red tone blushes. So the next blush is a really special one to me. It is the OG blush that got me into blushes, because I always used to think that blush would look hideous on medium skin, so I would never wear blush. So my OG blush is the Benefit Dallas. The reason I love this blush so much is because of the shade. It was the first blush I ever tried that was so natural. It didn't have a pink or red tone. It was almost bronzy, but it had a little hint of color, like it's a little bit reddy and a little bit mauvey, but it just gave you the most natural, like you just got a suntan kind of flush. Not that most brown people can get that suntan flush, but if you could, that's what it looked like. And I felt like it gave my face this beautiful, lovely sun-kissed definition without feeling like I had this hideous pink on my face. The next blush is the Patrick Ta Monochrome Moment Velvet Blush in the shade She's Seductive. This shade is actually really similar to the Benefit Dallas, still that deep mauvey suntanny tone. And it's a really soft formula that you can build up, so I really like that it doesn't leave a punchy tone too quickly. It's mauvey but not too mauvey, it's ready but not too ready. It's still got a little bit of pinkiness to it, so you get a really nice balance of all those tones without it looking overwhelming on your face. To me, this is one of those perfectly balanced tones for medium skin. The next blush I love is the MAC Mineralized Blush in the shade Sweet Enough. You're gonna notice a theme here. I don't really like very pigmented blushes, so I really love these formulas that are very soft and easy to build. And the MAC Mineralized line in their powders, blushes, highlighters are all so soft and buttery that even as a beginner, you're gonna have such a great time using these because they're so easy to build up and they're so smooth going on the skin. The shade Sweet Enough is such an amazing pinkier option for medium brown skin tones. It is a very, very soft mauve with a pinky lavender undertone, and I find that lavendery undertone really flattering on medium olive skin tone. Really complements the warmth of your skin without making you look ashy or without making you look clownish. To me, this is the most ideal, naturally pinky undertone blush that I have for medium brown skin tones. And I love that it's also not fully matte. It doesn't have shimmery reflex, but it does have sort of like a realistic skin-like look to it. I would say it's a true satin finish for a blush. But it's also one of those formulas that goes on so smoothly and it's really hard to mess up. The next blush is a new one. It's a new release. It is the Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush in the shade Pink Flush. Now, I haven't tried the Hourglass blushes, but I have heard people say that this is comparable or a dupe to the Hourglass blushes. This formula is meant to mimic the Pure Nude highlighter from Essence. And it's just very soft and buttery and luminous. And there's actually quite a lot of shades in that line that look like they'll be amazing on brown skin. But yeah, I picked up the shade Pink Flush. It's definitely a slightly more cooler tone pink, but I really wanted a shade like this that was gonna be like this truly pinky shade. But at the same time, it's not super bright. It's very subtle and it leaves the most amazing sheen on the face. The sheen is also not really like the Wet n Wild one, where it's got the shimmery particles, but it's more smooth. It's like the luminosity is just perfectly blended through it. The last blush is probably the most special blush in my collection. And I know that there's a lot of trending videos on people trying to dupe this one, but I've tried a lot of blushes and I truly believe that there's no actual dupe to this blush. It is the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow Blush. And listen, I've seen a lot of videos and a lot of swatches of people trying to dupe this, and every single time I noticed that even though the shades seem kind of similar, there is just a slight difference in the undertone in the Dior Rosy Glow. It's not just a bright pink. There's almost this slight neon effect to it when you look at it in the pan, and it also has a hint of that lavender undertone. So it is not just some cool tone pink. Trust me, I have tried the cool tone pinks, the bright pinks, and then it's also the formula. I haven't tried yet a formula like this one for a blush, and this is probably going to be a really big claim, but it is the smoothest formula blush I have ever used in my life. Not just the way that it goes on, but also the way that it just filters and blurs your skin, but at the same time it doesn't make your skin look extra powdery. Like, it really isn't matte or glowy or luminous in any way. It just looks like your skin. I think it's a unique undertone that really is going to work for so many different skin tones, especially if you're in the light to medium range. And don't be fooled by the tone of it. It is very easily buildable even on medium skin tone, and you can wear it sheer or you can wear it built up. It is the most perfect flirty pink blush without giving you that baby doll look. So that's it, guys. Those are my favorite blushes for medium brown skin tones. If you guys have a favorite blush or shade that you love for medium skin tones, please leave a comment down below. I would love to know, and I'm sure others who are watching this would love to know as well. Next week I'm out of town, so I'm gonna switch it up and do a different video. So the next video in this series will come 2 videos from now, and that's gonna be my favorite lip color combos for medium brown skin tones. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you for supporting my channel. Please check the description box below for other videos in my series that you may find helpful. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing rest of your week.